I'm Duke Nukem, and I'm coming to get the rest of you alien bastards. Let's rock. After a few days of R&R, I'll be ready for more action. Ready for action.
Okay, we're currently sitting at 17 viewers. That's pretty good for what we got going on here. Before we get started, I'm going to ask everyone to at least try to be somewhat respectful. We have a further announcement when we go ahead and get started, but we're going to see everybody on the other side. Okay, we should be good to go. Cal, can you let me know, see if we register?
Alright.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. I saw it pop up. Tony, can you come through okay?
Yep, I hear you fine.
Okay, and WhiteGlove.
Check 1 2 1 2.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Everything registered properly. I want to welcome everybody for joining us for this very strange occasion. Something's been in the works for a few months now. I didn't ever think we'd actually get to this point, but it appears that through some work diligence and a little bit of thought forwardness, we have arrived at this interview. Before we go ahead and get started, I'm going to go ahead and read something I have prepared that tells, for those who may not know who our guest is. Okay, my guest tonight has been the subject of a few dramas spanning at least to my knowledge 2 different communities, including the Rogue After Dark community, from which this channel itself was derived. Cal and I have had brushes with this individual and decided to set aside our grievances in order to make sure that we could actually conduct ourselves in a little bit of a better, like a higher standing. So at that point, I'm going to ask that everybody try to keep their opinions mild as they can. I know some people have strong feelings about the situation here, but Tony has vouched that they have been trying to improve themselves, and that's what led me to be able to be in this situation right here. Yeah, I know my Discord notifications are going off. I'll fix that in a minute. Flower Dingus, thank you. With that, I want to thank everybody for coming on. Tony, if you want to go ahead and inform everybody the situation?
Oh yeah. So I was also part of the Rogue After Dark like fan group in the Discord and stuff like that. So I got to see a lot of the stuff that went down firsthand myself as well. I do remember at the end of all of the stuff, there was a lot of speculation that WhiteGlove, you were very active in the situation that went down with that, and then come to find out that it wasn't you. And yeah,
Yeah.
when I did my videos covering the situation on that, there were some people and that were going after you pretty hard, and I ended up calling one of them out. And I think you saw
Oh,
that,
yeah.
and then you ended up coming into our community. I talked to you a bit through text. Sorry, I'm getting over a sickness myself, so my voice is a bit shot.
It's
Uh,
okay.
and
So, oh,
I'll go ahead.
sorry, you go first. Okay, so, basically, I was like browsing the forums on an alt because like I went offline for a week, quote unquote, but I was just, I'll be completely honest, I was like really paranoid and I was using an alt that I didn't type anything on. And, at the same time, it was like I saw someone posted a video by that individual, and I watched it, and I was just laughing at how terrible it was, and yours was in the recommended.
Mm. Well, yeah, I saw that and I pissed it off. I pissed it. It pissed me off, and I covered the person, stated where they were wrong with facts and stuff like that, and you came in the community and you apparently, I guess you and Rogue had a conversation at one point, and you really took to heart a lot of the stuff you said. You kind of unplugged yourself for a while. You came back and you've been trying to improve and do better and kind of right the ship so you yourself don't become a lolcout. And again, it wasn't at that time you were like, weren't you like fresh 18 at this point?
When I joined Rogue server, I was like 16, I want to say. Got banned from Discord, rejoined again when I was 17, and I got ID verified and started being active after I was 18. But I just turned 18, like literally the day I turned 18. And
Mm-hmm.
I was really excited to hang out with everyone, and I overstepped a lot of boundaries because I was just so excitable, and I would get upset with certain people, and we would argue, and then Rogue would come in and try to tell me to calm down, for a lack of better words.
But I do want to state from what I've seen in my community that they have made leaps and bounds improvements. So that's why I'm here to kind of mediate the interview as well on the side of WhiteGlove.
Yeah.
So that's what I gotta say, and that's from what I've noticed, and I've been keeping a pretty close eye on that situation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'll admit when I first saw you pop up in Tony's feed, I was chomping at the bit for a minute.
I
And
get
then
that.
like the first encounter I had was Twitter. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
Yeah, I went
yeah,
quite a bit unhinged on Twitter, on
yeah.
multiple
I can
occasions.
understand that. It's Twitter. So much shit.
we will get to that in like a minute. How like how we first met and everything. I would say that I guess Cal, where did you first encounter this individual WhiteGlove?
I think it was after this one like infamous Twitter post,
Oh,
and I just
God.
started going back and forth with WhiteGlove, and so I kind of like dipped after a moment because I didn't want to like go too far.
Yeah, we can expand on that later if deemed necessary. I remember when you first had your first like I guess tism in the Rogue server is like that's something we've had to deal with recently in our little sect. I won't say too much, but it's definitely a different sort of thing when you have to deal with it from a moderation standpoint, especially when especially when it's like it's someone that you cared about. But with with ill things that go on with the situation, it's like these past few months have definitely been a gigantic learning curve from character creation, not character creation, content creation, and just trying to work along with people. I don't know if WhiteGlove, if you know like anything about what Cal has been doing behind the scenes. Cal, would you be comfortable in telling them?
Where should I really start?
Probably with Echo, if you want to tell them about Echo.
So basically, Echo was this last minute thing. Like, it was like at the very last 5 minutes of the previous server getting deleted, and so I pretty much just whipped up the general channels and just went, hey, you guys, here you go. She's not saying anything, and just join this, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and so we're just like,
yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Let me get some music going. My fucking dumbass hit the button.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, it's alright. I feel like everyone was just a bit, more, I don't know how to word it. Like, sorry. Mom's, taking the dog out for a walk. But, yeah, it's just, been a huge learning curve for everyone with a lot of things, and, I know you guys have already had to deal with a few bits of drama.
Yeah.
It's definitely a learning experience for both sides of the situation. Like, for example, I was banned from Rogue's server when I fell asleep, and I woke up and I was banned, and I was really confused for a few days before realizing what had happened. And then I was really pissed off, and I started going after all the admins.
Yeah, I was
It was terrible.
I was there on Twitter when that first had happened. It was not gonna lie, dude. That was one of the cringiest things that you could have done. But having said that, was like a year or so ago, and no one. We're not gonna talk about that too much. It would seem that you've kind of taken anything anyone said to you. You probably thought about it in a more retrospective situation. So we're gonna move away from that segment. We've pretty much established who you are and some bit of your past deeds. If we need to go double back on that for any reason, we might. I don't see us having to. So the first little question I have here for you is, so if you actually find your YouTube channel, yeah, there's a handful of music in there, or what I assume is music. Do you mind telling us what exactly that genre is, and how did you get invested in that sort of thing?
Well, it's when it comes to genre, it's I don't know. I usually do covers rather than full music, just because it takes a lot longer to do the full music, and I feel like if I don't upload something, then I'm doing something wrong, and it's stressful even with as small as I am. And it's when it comes to how I got into Vocaloid in particular, well, I've been listening to it since 2013. Mostly classic stuff, because 2013 was when the Vocaloid fandom started being really popular.
What is Vocaloid?
And I would just kind of listen to... it's a music synthesizer. It's it's basically sorry, hold on. It's essentially a voice synthesizer program. Some of the characters have anime on it. Some are anime themed, some have silhouettes, so their design is up for interpretation. It's generally, it started out as something that people would get if they didn't have the money for a professional singer, but it got really popular, so people started using it instead of a professional singer even when they had the option.
Yeah, when I first found it, it was very, I thought it was very strange, more or less, especially like how everything is nowadays with all the content being created by AI and whatnot. I'm sure everybody has their opinions on that.
Oh yeah, and it's like I don't like the AI generated programs like Synthesizer V, which is the new one that everyone jumped ship to after Yamaha fucked up Vocaloid with 5. Because there's 6 iterations of the Vocaloid program, and Vocaloid 5 screwed over not only the companies, but it screwed over the fans, because it was so different and so hard for people to use, and it would crash a lot. And also actual people make the music. It's like MIDI. The vocal is on a MIDI and you get to tune it and stuff. And Vocaloid is a lot more, for lack of better words, retro when it comes to the way programs function. Like, it doesn't have a lot of modern synthesizer features that other programs have. Because it's a lot older and a lot more, for lack of better words, Vocaloid 1, which is what the fans call the original Vocaloid program, obviously, was released in January of 2004. And most people actually pirate Vocaloid 4 nowadays. I managed to get it legally. And it's because scalpers have jacked the price up from like $100 to $600 for nowadays. I managed to get it legal.
But why?
It's because Yamaha stopped selling it, and the newer programs are frustrating for a lot of people, so they absolutely refuse to buy them, and they would rather pay higher prices if it meant getting the actually good program, which I don't get.
You know, people like what they like. I mean, I can't per se I've had an experience with that other than like operating systems when it came to Windows Vista. That's probably the most common thing I have experience with is not liking certain operating systems when they come out. Especially you don't like Windows, you want to like wait a while and see how they pan out. But we're gonna move on to another question with this right here. Like, I don't know if we covered this in that little bit right there, but why did you choose to do it, do that kind of music? Was it just out of a fascination or a fad, or was it like something you were like driven to do?
It was like I started doing doing this kind of stuff in 2016. Most of my old videos are taken down because the timing was off, the key was off, etc., etc. And as I grew up, I started to notice the problems with it, because I didn't realize there were problems when I was like 12. So, but when it comes to that, I started doing it because I was super obsessed with it, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever, and I had to learn to do it. And ever since I was a small child, I've had a fascination with music, and I've always wanted to get into it, but I never had the opportunity to do classes for things like music theory or classes to learn how to play the Yamaha keyboard we had in our house before it broke. It's like generally a lot of it came down to money issues and not being able to do certain things, but I eventually managed to get it, and I managed to keep collecting. It's like generally much more of a novelty and something I enjoy and something that I do for personal enjoyment. Oh, and Cowprint mentioned FL Studio is $500. I managed to get the thing for sale after I graduated. Like the producer edition, not the producer and all the plugins, but just the base program that's for producers. It was $300 and I shouldn't have spent that much, but I actually really love the program, so it kind of works out.
Yeah, the software is like crazy expensive. I remember when I was like way younger, how I got started doing like video stuff was I just did like I did little slideshows. Of course, everybody who's ever like been a kid is like wanting to see what this what like a slideshow like Spider-Man with Disturbed in the background and kind of like bullshit and progress on the like using
like AMVs.
Yeah, AMV shit like that. And
Oh
like,
god.
not realizing that there are programs you can get that record the audio that's going through your CP, so you're sitting there holding the microphone next to the speaker kind of shit, trying to like get that audio recorded, and you're like looking at your parent like, stop talking, I need to get the right audio.
Oh god. Yeah, my very first video, I believe, I forgot what exactly it was, but I think it was very Christian-like, where I was like yelling the English language lyrics to a song over the original. And I was like 11, and I didn't realize that kind of stuff. It's like, looking back, it's really cringe, and I'm so glad I deleted it when I was 12, but like, at the same time, it's funny to think about.
I mean, mine were still up until the COPPA thing came down. I was like, well, it was like, out of all the shit that could like happen, I was like, the last thing I want to do is like to be sued for something I made when I was like 12 for some unknown reason. And yeah, of course I could have like read into it and said, oh no, you just go through and change all that. I'm like, I didn't even use the YouTube channel anymore. So why in the world would I even keep it, up? So I saved what I want out of it and dipped. I did stop motion animations for a little bit, and when I went into high school, I had gotten back into it because in this like this computer lab or this classroom we had, it was the video club had they had an Apple computer, a Mac something, I forget what it was, but it was like, oh fuck yeah, and that was the shit to me back when I was in high school. And now it's kind of like, that's fantastic, Jimmy. But when I got out of high school and started going to college, I started looking around, found like Sony Vegas, and I was like, I'm not spending $500 on software when I have to like buy gas to go to work. So I just ended up getting this thing called like Movie Studio, like 2012 or 2013 for like really cheap. Got 2 physical copies, gave one to my dad. And that's what I've been, like, I dusted that off when we started making this channel, started making stuff with that, and I was like, okay, that's great and everything. And they kept getting me alerts saying, hey, you can upgrade. And I was like, how much? $80. And I'm like, that's to buy the product straight out? Yeah. Or there's a Black Friday special, $35. I'm like, sure, whatever, here's $35. Just give me my fucking software.
I get that. I don't understand how to use it very well, but I actually do not own Sony Vegas, which I use to do my videos. It's like, I like how it functions compared to other software that's like free or low cost, and I'm not paying $500.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, it's one of those situations to where you won't ever use half the stuff that's in it, but at the same point in time, you never know when you might use half the shit that's in it. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Like, pro tip, I use Caden Live to edit like my stupid videos.
what is that? Is that an M browser?
Nah, it's like its own program. It's like free.
Yeah, Cal, don't you? What you've been? I've seen your channel. You've been doing like little gameplay stuffs.
Yeah, I don't do much, but it's it's kind of rare when I upload.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, like, gameplay is one of those things that some people can do because they like are able to talk while playing a game. I tend to get so absorbed in it I forget to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, me and one of the guys in my community, we've been doing a gameplay, but we've been creating a story through Elden Ring. With the
I
little
saw
cow
it's
that we
really
covered.
funny. And I think I actually started watching your GG streams when you started doing the Elden Ring stuff, and I've never played a Souls game, but I find them really interesting. I just suck at video games, so I can't quite play it without guaranteeing I'll die every second. So
That's
I
the
mean,
point of them. You're gonna.
all you gotta do is get good, man, and like, and if that doesn't work, there's always like, it's funny enough, a game that is infamous for like kicking you in the teeth, you'll never find a group of people, like a group of like, you know, community gamers, more determined to help somebody.
yeah.
It's really weird, the dichotomy when it comes to like Souls games is like, there was this one dude who like he was invading my world, or he invaded your world in like the Dark Souls remake, and if he killed you, he would take your gamer tag and he put it into a listing of like a bunch of other people he killed, saying like get good, get good, get good, and it was like, there's an option.
Damn, that's kind of edgy, bro.
The funny
Yeah, I
part, the
did
funny part
something
was when they did that, it was like a handful of people were like, maybe we're gonna team up, beat the shit out of him. And it was like, you could, you very well could. And it was like, oh, that's funny. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Yeah, and
Glove.
like, it's okay. Like, there's one game series I'm really good at that, of course, I don't cheat in, because it's a fucking Nintendo game and I'll get banned, especially because it's online. But I am rather good at Splatoon, at least when it came to 1 and 2. My main weapon wasn't in Splatoon 3, at least not yet. And it's made things a lot harder. But I used to use the NZAP 87, and I would like kill 11 people in one match and like squid bag them every single time, which is basically teabagging.
God,
They would get so mad.
I believe it. Man, there are people nowadays that if you do some actions like that, they will like ban you straight out. I mean, they're like, the state of video games has become a bit of a joke, and definitely like when it comes to like the professional esports thing, it just
Yeah, like with all the pros just complaining about balances to weapons, it just becomes a game of using like the same weapon over and over.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
metas now. So just enjoying playing the fucking game.
Yeah, I just, when I started playing it at 14, it was like 2017. 2 was about to come out, but I didn't get that until like December 2018. And I was having the time of my life with it. Like, it was very limited compared to 2, but it was also like really fun. And that's what matters. Like, I don't understand people who get a bunch of like pay to win stuff, or spend way too much on cosmetics. Like, if you have a little bit of extra money and you genuinely want it as an adult, then sure, but like pay to win shit, I just can't stand it. I won't play a game if it's pay to win.
That's why I like the Souls games. There's no paying to win.
Yeah.
I will say, like with the Souls games, man, going into like meta builds, that's a community that really has that problem, and in that you can build your character like any way you want, to use whatever it is you want, and half the fun of it, especially once you get decent at the game, is to find ridiculous fucking weapons and have fun with them. Like, I made a character in Dark Souls 3 that was fucking Simon Belmont, and I used a whip. And people just laughing at me like, you fucking noob using a whip. It's fucking fun, man.
Yeah.
I can live out my Castlevania fantasy.
I always
Yeah,
like the Abyss Watchers freaking giant ass sword flip dip freaking dancing bullshit.
Oh yeah, the Artorias sword.
The freaking hook, just like flipping in a spin and slapping it around. Like, it's like, why? Hell no, it's fun to watch. It's fun to watch your character break dance with blades.
Yeah. It reminds me like I really like the Fallout series. They kind of screwed it up towards the end, but of course, New Vegas obviously is where I take my username from. And it's always been one of my favorite games since I've tried it out the first time. I was 16 and was finally allowed to play violent video games. But it was like genuinely one of the best gaming experiences I had. Like, I've never played it vanilla, and I don't think I ever will, just because the mods are so much fun. But I've tried to use vanilla plus mods at first that would like stabilize the game and stuff.
It's funny you should bring that up, because actually I have a question here written down there. Okay, so we talked about where your name is derived from. Now, your character is like obviously a chunky vampire sort of individual. Now, what was the inspiration behind that? And can you give us some insight? Because like there's this big thing in the art community where like the characters that like these sonas that we put on say something that either we want people to see about us or something of that nature, something we're not aware of.
Well, simply it's like well, of course, like the Fallout series, the WhiteGlove Society, for lack of better words, has a vampire sort of motif, and yes, it comes from New Vegas, but it's like they're cannibals. They like live in a super fancy environment. They're like trying really hard to remain civil out on the outside and monsters on the inside and stuff, and that kind of reminds me of vampires, and I think vampires are cool. But when it comes to my appearance or my character, it's like it's just accurate to how I really look for the most part.
God,
I'm uncreative.
I wish I looked like my Sona, but there's no way I'm going to be like two hands and a bunch of eyeballs.
Damn, I wish I could be my Sona.
Be a giant fucking bull.
True.
A standing upright bull with like hooves for hands.
Mine was kind of a derivative between Spike Spiegel and Eddie Valiant from Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh,
I love Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I have not seen it in forever though.
Just a funny thought. If we all were to like take our Sonas currently and turn them into a Fallout universe, it's very clear who would turn into what. I'm assuming. I think it'd be funny to see Tony's Sona did up like a synth.
Yeah.
I'm Valentine. I'm Vincent Valentine Inc.
Yeah. I would always choose the sarcastic options to annoy Valentine.
Mm. Yeah, I think when you first interacted with me, I was going with the look of Joshua Graham.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Joshua Graham is such a cool character.
Yeah. I wanted to do that with this Sona, but ultimately, for the things we decided to go with was like a mix of like Father from Fullmetal Alchemist and Diz from Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, and I love like a lot of the characters from Fallout, but like the reason why I chose the WhiteGlove Society in particular was kind of the sort of borderline goth, like sort of vintage stuff. But at the same time, it's like I love a lot of the factions, and it was kind of Felipe's personality that kind of made me eventually do this. Because boomers, yeah, I love the boomers. The boomers.
That's my faction. Just blow some shit up. Fuck.
Yeah. I actually, on my latest save, I'm at the very end of the boomers because there was like a glitch where I was trying to finish the Valara quest by blowing the plane up to the surface of the water, but for some reason it's not giving me the option to explode it, and I'm just frustrated.
I know.
But
For my ending for Fallout New Vegas, I decided to go with Yes Man.
yeah.
For no reason. Like, why? I'm going to wreck the entirety of everything, and I'm going to leave. Like, I'm going to walk east. I'm going home. Bye.
Yeah. Like, I've done every single faction thing. My very first one was House. But I've done every single route with the exception of the NCR and Elijah.
Father Elijah is like, oh wait, we can work together and we can just kill everybody with giant red mist monster. Gotcha. Yeah, because that's the way to go. So getting back on the track with like questions and everything like that. This one is a bit of a I got a few that are like serious. Okay, the first one earlier, like I don't know if we got before we got started and whatnot. We talked about you being a trans man.
Yeah.
And you holding certain views towards like other like non-binary in this situation. Now has
oh shit, yeah.
has the time since like you last reappeared, has that like given you any sort of like any chance to change your mind about any situation, or how do you stand on that situation?
Yeah, I've been doing a lot better than I used to on that. I still absolutely have like anger issues, and I tend to like take it out sometimes. But when it comes to the non-binary stuff, it's like I'm a lot less judgmental than I used to be. I'm still learning along the way, and I'll like ask questions like, "Oh, why do people use this?" And it's out of genuine just wanting to know, rather than malice. So say somebody wants to be called it, I'll ask why they want to do that, because my personal experience as a trans person is that it's like the highest of highest insults to be called it. So having another opinion on that is always a good thing, in my opinion.
That's kind of like what we're trying to do here. Like, I understand, like, when I first asked you and everything, like, come on, you would assume that this is going to be like a Coach Eli stream where we're just going to sit here and shoot the breeze for, like, an hour and eventually just devolve into a bunch of bullshit. But I don't particularly care to do that sort of thing just for... I guess the reason why is probably because it's, I don't know if it's sympathy or I think the word's empathy. Trying to understand. Like,
yeah.
When I walk away, when I get off this computer, and I walk away from this chair, I want to be able to think to myself that we both got something out of it other than just some cheap entertainment. That we both walk away, we have a better understanding of like maybe our worldview is extended just a little bit more. That's what I want.
It's been really hard for me to learn to do that, but I've been trying really hard to learn to do that. Because it's sort of like I'll be super accepting of people. In the past, I would be like really accepting and happy to talk to people and trying my best to learn and respecting them, and then somebody of that group would scorn me and I would just completely burn the bridge and change my opinions just because I was mad at them, and that's what I used to do, and it's not okay.
Well, a couple of things I'd like to say on that, to say to what you just said. Something that helps me a lot, man, is like, not everyone's gonna like you.
Yeah.
That's just, it's not ideal. Everyone wants to be liked, but not everyone is gonna like you. Some people will outright fucking hate you. And
oh yeah.
The best thing I've seen to do is just be like, oh, that's like your opinion, man, and just kind of keep moving with it. Like, don't let their bullshit fucking affect you, because they're gonna continue their bullshit, especially especially if they see you fucking lose your shit.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the Vocaloid community has kind of disavowed me and had nothing to do with me since like 2018 when I was 15 because of a lot of things like trying to be purposely really edgy, using slurs, getting very mad at other people, and I had a massive fight with a pretty big producer in the community, Ghost. We got into a really bad argument, as well as all their friends, and it was kind of a dog pile situation. And years later, and people still hate me. So
Yeah, that's that's not good. But the other thing that I want to touch on is you said that you didn't want this to be like a Coach Eli situation. Now I want to say the situation here with WhiteGlove and that happened with Coach Eli, that there are two very different situations. Whereas in WhiteGlove is working on and learning and doing better upon mistakes made, whereas Coach Eli could not hear any mistake he made.
yeah,
I
and
think that whole Coach Eli thing would have went very different had he just dropped his fucking ego for 10 seconds and listened to what was being fucking said to him. But he wouldn't do it.
yeah, and also I think about the Coach Eli stream a lot because that's probably up there as one of my favorite Rogue streams. That wasn't.
That is my favorite one.
Yeah, and it's
Ironically,
like one of my
it's everybody's
favorites.
favorite. It's like, damn, that was pretty rough. But that's probably some of the best
I don't
content I've
know.
seen in
I
years.
don't know. I don't know. Mine was the bag stream for
Yeah.
obvious reasons.
Yeah, like
I also really liked the fucking McDonald's lore ones. Those were pretty funny too, but
God, Sock
when-
has had me and Mima watch and do streams on that, and I only have this to say. Every problem they run into, Ron already knew it was going to happen. In fact, if you guys go back and watch the Grimace Island one, you wonder who sent the two letters written in perfect English to, like, you know, to Grimace and the pirate. It was Ronald. None of the Grimaces are capable of writing in English. Ronald essentially owns Grimace. He wanted the Grimace's treasure, and he knew he couldn't get it by just taking it. He'd be seen as a bad guy. He needed to have someone artificially go there. He needed someone to go there because of problem. So they bring it out saying, "You guys did great. Here, have our treasure." You know.
yeah, literally, it's like really funny too, cause for lack of better words, he saw them as filthy grimmers. But
I love how they get there and they'll have like really like, heavy like Boston accents. It's like nobody here can read English. I'm like, oh, that's funny as shit.
yeah.
Oh man. But hang
God,
on.
it's like
Hang on just a moment. Cal. Doubling back a little bit to what you said about the bag situation. Now, I've attempted to look into that. I can't fully grasp what that guy's deal is. What is that guy's deal?
Alright, so basically, he got kicked out from Rogue server for being a bit weird to Liz, and so he basically just disappeared, and then I think a year later he was back on the internet to basically just perpetuate what Shangy and the other motherfuckers were saying. And so like during that very stream, he started to make fun of my like drawing, like my NSFW drawing. And after the stream, Rogue reached out and said, "Hey, I'm sorry for laughing about your drawing." I'm like, "Hey, that's all right, man." So moving on from that, he started appearing in Shangy's streams, talking shit about Rogue after he DFE'd and all that shit.
Oh shit, yeah. That's kind of on topic. because Shingy invited me to be on at one point, and at first I was really upset, but then I learned Wendy Diego doxed Rogue, and Rogue was a victim in all this, and I declined, and he got really fucking mad.
I'm gonna ask you more about that in DMs because when the Rogue shit went down, me and Shangy went at it pretty fucking hard for a little while.
Yeah,
You
like I
should,
blocked all contact with him, and he started molding and stuff on his Twitter page. Or not Twitter, but like YouTube, and then he went on with Wendy like the next day instead of me.
He didn't actually end up going
Or
on.
he was going
did
to.
He backed down the Wendy thing in like the last second, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I forgot about that.
And yeah, like after like the first stream where they called out Rogue, like falsely called out Rogue for shit. I remember going to Bag's Twitter and just arguing with him. And he was basically just mirroring the words that Shangy said. And I was like, y'all are brainwashed. And he just started throwing like racial stereotypes at me and shit. I'm like, this bitch crazy.
Well, they're all, for lack of a better word, fucking retarded over there, man. They even called me out for calling one of their fucking hosts the fucking regard. They called Cosmic Cam a retard. He's a special boy. Oh man, but no.
Someone online called me a retard.
With what Shangy pulled there, man, like he's one of the few people on the internet, man. If I ever saw him, let's just say he wouldn't have a big nose anymore. He'd have a flat one, a real flat one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of super evil stuff.
His moderators still fucking come into my goddamn streams every once in a while just to see if I'm talking about him.
That's
fun.
Pretty funny, honestly. Like, I get being scared of what other people are saying about you if you're like my age, where you're like just coming out of teenager stuff, like you're about to be in a full-on adult, like 20-ish, and you're upset and scared of what might happen, but when it comes to like 30, 40-year-old guys still keeping an eye on people for things that they said, it's like kind of ridiculous.
I have to say this.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious. That's why I cover people like that.
I gotta say this, and it's hilarious. When I was going through school, they said to be careful what you put online because people may see it, may hurt you, get a chance to get a job. And now I find out that that was the case about 5 years ago. Now I found proof that it doesn't matter as long as you don't expose company secrets. And how I can say is that Bob Hickman works for FedEx. The man that says that the man that buys ad space and buys a van to write Jesus isn't Jesus floated into my body, enter my body, a body my same size. He wrote that in paint on the side of his thing. Holds a job where he drives a freaking 18-wheeler for freaking FedEx.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so...
and it's like...
Yeah.
It's funny that is the case, because I was told the same thing going through school, and of course I was kind of used as a personal cow, and I was like I want to say 13 to 15, and before I finally realized that I could just walk away. But I was basically told, oh, if you post certain things online, you'll be ridiculed, you'll not be able to get a job, and yeah, so that kind of scared me for a bit, but now it's just mental health stuff I need to get in order first.
Most jobs you go into won't care too heavily about your social media practices, as long as you don't bring them in it and doesn't affect their bottom line. That's basically it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess the best recommendation I can make to people, if you're gonna go online and stuff like that, if you're gonna like have like I guess weird kinks or like cringy takes and stuff like that, fucking own the shit out of it and don't be ashamed of it. And then people can't use that against you.
Yeah.
And just like okay, so I don't know what weird fucking thing people have said about. Like I have a fucking drinking problem or some shit. That's one that George likes to use on me a lot.
Which is ironic.
There is the current Surgeon General under Biden who, if you look up his social media, he's dressed up like a leather daddy on Facebook.
Oh my god! But it's like I just fucking own it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, there you go, you got it.
He's got a big ass pentagram tattoo on his chest, bro.
Yeah, I remember people were really mad about that, but I think that's just the natural result of one of the younger generations finally having the freedom to do that kind of shit, and they're kind of they don't understand the professionalism, but at the same time they're not afraid to be themselves. And
it's like with that, it's like, okay, that's great and everything, Dad. I understand that's kind of like off kilter and whatnot. I don't think he's a Satanist. I think he's an edgy motherfucker. What is his does he have the qualifications for the job? That's all I care about. If the answer is no, the real question is why is he in the docket if he's not qualified?
Yeah.
Like pentagram isn't satanic though.
No, it's just the symbol for beginning of magic. But you try to tell that to anyone who was like raised up, strictly without seeing what's on the other side of the fence prior.
It's just a symbol for the elements.
For the 5 elements.
Pretty fucking basic. Yeah, it's pretty basic. The 4 elements, including spirit, which would make it the 5, which is why the star points up.
And the circle around's control icon, containment or control.
That's within your microcosm.
My mom used to be pagan, and so she has a lot of pagan books kept around, and she kept them for my siblings and I, so we could learn about different viewpoints and see what we truly would believe in. Because she was one of those people that thought that knowledge, like learning new things, wasn't a bad thing, regardless of faith and stuff. Just knowledge and all that.
I would argue it's the application of knowledge that truly is the important thing, and also knowing where to stop with the certain things. Like, because sometimes you'll do countless terrible things without stopping to ask yourself why you did them in the first place. And very often I got to think the concept that humankind doesn't actually know what they've done till after they've done it.
Yeah, it's generally one of those situations.
I guess with that, there's a whole this opens up another question I have written down here. Something that you have been afflicted with is something that everybody else can probably relate to a certain degree, and that's being terminally online. Now, being terminally online, like for a lot of people, it means different things. It's used as an insult for a handful of people. Some people, when they wake up in the morning, they hop on Discord, hop on a call. We know have a few people like that, and it's always important to know if you are when to step back. When to touch grass, lack of a better term, or breathe the air, get away. We touched on this a little bit at the beginning when you had disappeared a little bit after being absconded from Twitter for a little while.
Commentary.
Yeah, you definitely seem like you've had time to mull it over, to think about things, and to get things like structured in a more like a term structured sense. Now, would you consider yourself to still be terminally online? And if not, how have you combated that?
I would say that I'm still terminally online, just less so. Because I'm actually taking time to remember to take care of myself. Unless I'm, like, actually in so much pain I can hardly move, I'm able to do things that, I completely forgot I had to do for the most part. which is like really funny, because with the shower shit, it's like somebody spread a rumor that it was because I got banned and I wasn't gonna. But in reality, it was like it was me basically being super depressed and in so much pain I couldn't move. Unfortunately, I decided to overshare, and they saw an opportunity to go at me, and I freaked out. And when my friends left me, it's like, how will I remember to do this stuff? I just, because I was depressed, I didn't have a diagnosis for major depression at the time. But I got diagnosed very soon after, and basically they were throwing like a fit over the whole situation, and I lost my train of thought. But it's like basically somebody took like actual problem and basically turned it into Spurgy online shit to get back at me.
It happens sometimes when individuals are attempting to get around people. Like, in your sense, it's, I would say that for some of the hate that you've gotten, it was somewhat warranted, but at the same point in time, people all, like I said earlier, people don't realize what they've done until after they've done it situation. Like, yeah, you can chase this chubby dude down the freaking corridor, put his back against the wall, beat the crap out of him, and take his money and whatnot. But tomorrow, when you have to realize, when you look at your hands and see what you did, are you gonna be able to live with it then? It's like, are you gonna be able to justify it tomorrow when you're the guy running? If the tables are turned, can you justify what you did? Situation.
Yeah. I wish more people took time to think about that, but I do get doing things out of anger or knee-jerk reaction in the moment, because I've been there, and I'm in skills training classes, and what we're focusing on right now is anger management. So.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I know that that we can relate to in here primarily. It's
yeah,
like going through things in life. Like, I don't know all of your struggles, and feel free to not share with all the struggles and everything for obvious reasons. But like, we've all had things that in our lives that we have not had control over, and something I'm finding more so when it comes to people with anger issues, it's because when they were younger, they didn't have or didn't feel they had a control over their environment or their direction of their lives. And primarily the thing that helps out deal with that is to be in a situation where you are in ultimate control of your environment, and that it's not only that you have control, but you have no other choice but to be in control. There's no one else to rely on. It's just, you and the world around you is what helps people figure out when they have to control, like, how to control themselves. And you always hear like freaking therapists and everything on TV saying, it's like, no, you don't get angry, you let yourself get angry. Like, to a certain extent that's true. And I was like, no, then there's justified anger. It's just more on the lines of figuring out why it did it, why it made you mad.
Oh yeah, and it's like with me, I'll be perfectly fine one moment, and then somebody says one thing, like one very minor thing that's wrong, and it just completely sets me off. Like, it could be the smallest thing in the world, and it'll like set me off, and that's one of the main reasons why I decided to focus on this in particular, because it's not healthy to get so upset so easily,
Yeah.
Oh no, it's not. I struggle with the anger myself. It doesn't really come through too much like on the stream, but I got my demons with that.
Earlier today, it was absolutely justified, because like I agree with you on the whole situation. Like, not to get into politics, but yeah,
oh, man,
we agree on that.
Feel free to talk about politics here, man. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. it's like generally it's like the party systems are fucked, Biden is fucked, like all of that shit. But at the same time, it's like this is like one of those situations where people are justified to get upset about it. Maybe not to the point where they're like rioting or anything, which I don't think will happen, but if it does, that's bad, obviously. But generally, we agree on that, and that's one of those cases where the anger is justified as long as it's not taken out on others.
Yeah, and there was a
Yeah,
thing
that
I
is
wanted
fair.
to touch on was you saying like you being looking at yourself after you've like gone after someone pretty hard, being able to live with yourself and whatnot. Like myself with that on my channel, we go after people like, and I know some of you guys here know this. We get pretty fucking ruthless. I'm actually considered one of the nicer ones. My partner is the fucking devil in a
Yeah.
good way.
But she's fun to watch.
But it takes a lot for me to go. It takes a lot for me to go after someone in that realm, and like with WhiteGlove with the rogue situation that we talked about earlier. It just seemed like fucking bickering and arguing. It just didn't seem like, for me, someone worth going after like that. There were a couple times I like ribbed them on Twitter, or ribbed WhiteGlove on Twitter. They gave it back. They were just kind of a back and forth. It wasn't anything overly insulting, I don't think. But
Yeah. I
and
used to
one of
get
the-
like really underhanded in arguments. Like, I would go after the most nitpickiest little shit.
Yeah, I remember you're like, who even are you? And it's like, what the fuck? All right, this is
It's me.
Usually,
It's me. Spaz.
but what really got me with the WhiteGlove situation was right before all of the shit went down with him. He had it in the Discord. It was like, no talking about WhiteGlove, no more of it. And he said something about, he's like, they're still very young, they're trying to do better. And like, for me, I took that to heart. It was like, okay, there was a conversation that had been had here, and for someone like Rogue to be like, okay, we're done with this shit. And it was like, I'm gonna listen to that, because like he gets pretty fucking ruthless with stupid fuckers too.
Yeah, and that was honestly really relieving knowing that, because I remember those kind of like he's said to people in the past, like this kid is just like Asperger, they're trying to learn how to deal with being an adult and stuff. But yeah, and it's like really calming to know that.
Or hell, if it's any consolation, that's kind of how me and Cal got to know each other so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I 100% get it, because I went after both of you guys really hard.
Well, no,
especially
not
Cal.
that. Like when, like before the freaking like roof caved in on the old server, when you spurred out like on someone else and like things started occurring, I put that meme on Facebook saying, like, this all seems very familiar, and I was like, I think WhiteGlove's doing it again. And then Cal got heated, and then Rogue was like, what are you two retards doing? It's like, what the hell?
I was like, hey, look, I'm trying to defend myself.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. And it was like, I guess just pointing this out. And it was like, well, don't do that. And it was like, you lock the channel down. Like, wait, not locking the channel down. That's stupid. And it was like, just put both of us on timeout. I was like, okay.
Yeah, like, it was, like, really funny, because just, like, I think maybe a week or two ago, one of my only IRL friend kind of came over to try and take us to see an event happening in town, and, he came over and he's like, I didn't know you were infamous on the internet.
Oh,
Oh no!
oh no.
And I'm like, okay, what in particular was it? And he's like, apparently you forget to take showers. And it's just like,
Oh no!
oh man, I was so embarrassed.
What did he see the thoughts and opinions freaking thing, or one of the other things?
Quite possibly. I don't know what exactly he saw. He just said he saw people on Twitter spurging about it.
God,
Like, I'm usually not quick to anger unless you like particularly do something. If you're like a specific type of person.
I like to live by the ideal of don't get mad, get even.
Yeah, I 100% agree, Cal. Like, kind of probably not the smartest to say this, but the one thing that absolutely gets to me is when people lie to my face. Or try to lie about a situation to get more views, thoughts and opinions, but...
Shit.
Yeah, that's kind of accurate to me.
God, I'm gonna come back next week and it's gonna be like fucking comments is like, what the fuck did that just say? And I'm like, it's like, would you like to come on for an interview? I can pencil in for the second week of January. Until then,
Yeah.
that's about it.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm glad I've learned to, like, laugh about certain things, but the one thing about Thought's video that made me want to punch a wall is when she said that I made the alt pretending to be, like, impersonated, when no, I didn't, and it's really funny because literally the day after she posted that video, the guy revealed his voice, and he was very clearly trying to be a poor man's Liquid Chris without the smarts.
Yeah, I mean, like, I saw that too, and I was like, oh, well, hold up a minute. And I was like, wait a minute. What?
That's why it's so fucking important when you're going to start covering like hot topic issues like that that's going on at the moment. You have to get your fucking research. You can't just be spitballing shit.
Yeah, and it's like, for a while I considered doing like Leafy style videos, but I would absolutely not be good at it. So I decided against it because I know that I would just say stupid things without thinking and not think through my words, and it would end poorly.
I mean, it's working really great for Turkey Tom right now. The Tom Dark channel has a video every day. It's just him talking like you know, for no apparent reason, and complain about being like, you know, spinning from Twitter.
Yeah, like, I was honestly shocked that he didn't do a Discord Degenerates follow-up after the whole situation.
Oh no, today he released a video saying he's starting a Discord server.
Oh, yeah, I saw that, and I jokingly put in the comments at one point, is there a hygiene requirement?
Well, humor definitely is a, humor is one of the saintly benefits of, like, trying to, like, you know, better yourself. You have to be able to look in the mirror and say, yeah, that was funny. Now, the problem is when someone takes a joke a little too far, the one-trick pony situation. Like, oh, this is the only joke you got. Like, come on, there is, like, a whole host of other things you can laugh about in this situation.
Yeah, and people often get mad at me for self-deprecating, but I don't mean it in a self-hateful way. I just think it's funny.
I just had a thought. And this is, like, feel free to do this or not do this, but the situation you find yourself in with everything, very few people can say they've actually come back or like been attempting to get better from the situation. It's like clearly you're just a young kid, and you know you need to figure out how life works. That's clear. Everybody slips, everybody falls, everybody has their bad days. But you got a little bit of talent under your hands.
Thank you.
What do you think about chronicling your journey one day by making a comic of it?
That sounds like it would be a really good idea. Like, I think it would be fun to do. It just takes me a while to, like, work up artistic things if I'm doing a big project, but I do eventually get to it most of the time. It's like, it's just one of those things where I kind of draw little things in between here and there while I'm working on like stuff like larger drawings. Like, I have to remember, like, that if I do like a 4K drawing, it's gonna be, it's gonna really slow down my phone because I use Ibis Paint, but it's gonna like slow down everything, and it's hard for me to remember that in the moment until my application starts crashing.
Gosh.
But it's like I have a lot of fun doing it, and generally a bunch of sketches in between larger drawings is how I do things.
If I was you, I'd probably step forward. You get out in the job world. You get you a MIC job, something. If you don't have overly high overhead expenses for whatnot, I would probably go ahead and look into getting a simple iPad. Nothing doesn't mean anything like cutting edge or whatnot. Get you an Apple Pen. That'll probably be that and buy a Procreate.
Yeah.
Or maybe like get a somewhat moderately good laptop and like a 60 maybe like $50 graphics tablet.
Oh yeah, that does sound really good. I actually had a very similar thing with Spazador, as he was mentioning like an hour ago, but I forgot to mention this, but I was top of my class in like 8th grade when it came to drawing and doing little animations, because I took a class on video production in 8th grade, and we learned how to work with Flash and Photoshop, and it was
Rip
really
Flash.
fun.
So,
Yeah,
So you're an artist?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I want to ask, like just right here, because I mean, you're quite frequent in my community now. I want to ask because at the moment I don't have an artist, and would you like to be the artist for Fieldins? I will commission you for stuff like drawings of people that we cover. Would that be
shit.
something that you would be interested in?
I would love that. The thing is, I don't have a way to receive the money right now, so I'll definitely have to work on getting that, and then once I get that, I'll let you know.
Okay, because that offer is available if you want it, and that way you have something to work toward. You have something for some artistic expression. You can get a little bit of money off of it too.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. You've been coming a long way. I have a lot of faith in where you're going, and I just want to show that.
It's always
Thank you.
good. It's always good to have artistic people, at least in the Rolodex.
Like, yeah, you've improved so much. Like, I can't really like say their name, but some people usually don't get they usually don't get it, and will just loop around and just started causing like controversy after controversy and all that
Cal, are
shit.
we thinking about the same person?
Yeah, same person.
Rogues community or Fieldins?
This
Rogue.
Rogue and
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. Black hair and all.
no.
Well, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
It's someone else that's like unrelated.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because I thought we were talking about the bird neglector.
No, not Dylan Thomas. This was something a little more closer to home, which is
Oh, okay.
yeah. This was something closer to home for us, and it's kind of like it. We're trying to move past it, but literally every other like day is like a fucking Reagan recap with the fucking bullshit. Somebody asks,
Yeah.
like something new occurs. Someone asks the question, "Who is insert name here?" Sorry, too much information.
Oh, yeah. It's generally interesting how people's personalities are so different, but there's a certain pattern with individuals. Like the forum users on Kiwi Farms were really surprised when I lost my pink triangle, and they were like celebrating and coming to my page to congratulate me.
Now, what does that mean?
But-
Because I'm not a Kiwi Farms user.
Okay, so the pink triangle was a new addition in like March 2022, and it was for people who it was specifically for people who disrupted forum discussion, either because they didn't understand the site culture or because they were actively like starting fights, or they were taking bait. It was basically like a sort of warning sign that this person will either get better, get banned, or possibly get a thread. And it was just kind of one of those warning signs, like, hey, this user is gonna say something stupid.
I got you. So yeah, like there's definitely been progress, and as time goes forward, if you stay humble and you notice the grindstone situation, I mean, you could very possibly just blow up. I'm not kidding.
Thank you. And it's like generally a lot of it is like passion stuff for me. Like I, for example, really like watching lolcows and learning new things about them, and I find them funny and fun to watch most of the time, but there's no way I could cover them because I know I'll get details wrong. With art, it's like one of those things where I tend to procrastinate on it, but I eventually get it done because I know I can do it. It's generally like different with a lot of things.
Now here's a question I always like ask, like, bullshit questions. Now we've had a really good discussion here. Yeah, there have only been a handful of questions. Everybody's got their questions more or less answered, I would assume. Everybody thinks walked away with the situation. But when it comes to lolcows, now, who is your favorite lolcow and why?
Oh shit. This is a really hard question. Recently I've been following PPP and Andy Worski, because this entire situation with the Kino Casino imploding is so much fun for me to watch. And I would say that they're probably my favorites because I saw them completely fumble the flamenco situation, and they ended up actively turning people against them. And it's like Cyrax is cool too, chat member, but like it's like generally I know more about them than I do Cyrax. I kind of watch Cyrax in passing and I enjoy it, but like when it comes to PPP and Andy Worski, I was first introduced to them because people found it really funny to post a picture of PPP and say it was me.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned about them.
God, I can see it now. You go to a con and people are like, "There's PPP," and I'm like, "No, WhiteGlove." There's WhiteGlove. Like, oh no.
Oh my god. I have not been to a con since like 2019, but I used to go every single year to WonderCon. Which is like a super
never been to a con that wasn't like, a gun show.
It's basically like an offshoot of Comic-Con that's in Anaheim.
No.
I went to Dragon
That sounds
Con.
nice.
They get animazement here. Like, they get animazement here in this state, but I've never been.
Yeah.
It's
like they're really fun. They just tend to get really crowded too. So if you don't like crowds, it's probably not a good experience.
Yeah, I don't like you'll never know it by the way I talk here, but I really don't like people.
I get it.
That's probably why we get along.
Yeah, it really depends for me on how tightly packed the crowd is. I've gotten a lot better about it, but when I was younger, I used to be so scared of large crowds.
You can get easily, if you're with a group, you get easily lost. If you don't know where you are, if you don't have like a game plan, it could be like, great, now I gotta be dependent on my cellular device. If it has signal, if the Wi-Fi works properly, and it's like, and then there's like that guy over there's been eyeing me for like 15 minutes. That looks like he hasn't like shaved since like the 70s, and it's like, is he gonna be a problem later?
Yeah, and it's like really funny to me because I've been to just about everything from gun conventions to train conventions to WonderCon, but it's like the one gun event that I went to with my dad because he was super interested in that stuff. Like we were gonna go to like the second annual version of it because we went to the first annual, but what happened was somebody like shot a revolver into the ceiling.
Oh god.
And the city basically said no more of that shit.
I know the gun show they have around here. They make you check your if you bring in anything like you carry, you gotta check your magazine in with them. And I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah.
Just leave, if you're not carry it all, just fucking leave it in the car or leave the magazine in the car.
Yeah, it's like I don't know very much about guns. Like I ended up learning a bit how to shoot them when I was 17 because my dad wanted me to learn to defend myself. But at the same time, it's like I forgot what I learned and my eyes suck. And until I get new glasses and better eye to hand coordination, I'm just not gonna touch them.
Oh, you want to know what would really help you learn better eye-hand coordination? It's the weirdest thing ever. Working in a grocery store.
What? Oh shit, yeah. That probably would.
Like becoming a stalker and putting shit on shelves, you will quickly become if you can pick it up, you'll quickly become a ninja. You'll gain like reflexes that you will never be able to get rid of.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because I was doxxed and I live in a town where basically everyone knows everybody. But if you don't know somebody, there's a 99% chance they're a tourist. And so it's like genuinely one of those times where it's like you could learn the entire town by doing something like that.
Someone in the chat said jobs are gay, communism is great, and I was like, oh, I disagree entirely. Communism means that you are the job. You don't get paid for it. You are the job. It's your social responsibility now.
Bro, communism died except for in China.
God. That reminds me of this reminds me of that reminds me of a quote from an old Sprite comic that I used to be fucking obsessed with when I was like 11. So like it's like Final Fantasy themed, and one of the characters basically comes up with the term omniloathe, and it's basically like a dictionary definition where it's like omniloathe, to loathe all things, and then it has as an example communist omniloathe joy.
Oh. I saw this political like picture. And it was like when your conservative mom asks you to set the table, and it was like, but you're a communist, and like they put hammer and sickles next to the plates, and so when they come like, yeah, and there's no food on the table.
Yeah, I do get a kick out of all that. I feel like making fun of all things is very important. Like you can't just laugh at. It's hard to explain, but it's like I kind of enjoy things from all political sides, and I think it's funny to laugh at all of it.
I mean, it's all worth laughing at. So
you can't take it too seriously. If you take everything too seriously, you end up being like this super uber Jordan Peterson fans, to where it's like you can't even make a joke. You can't even make a joke about the man. It's like the man will probably think it's a funny fucking joke. Just take the fucking joke.
Yeah, it's like you joking about Elon Musk. They will pile you.
Yeah.
Look,
like
I'm pretty sure this guy can take a fucking joke.
Speaking of which, I think it would be really fun to watch the fucking Fish Sticks episode of South Park again.
Oh God. I don't
I'm not a
think
gay
Kanye.
fish.
I don't think Kanye can't take a joke.
Oh yeah, he can't. That's why it's funny.
Someone just needs to confront him and ask him if he's a fucking gay fish. Probably punch him. I am sick of this fucking joke.
Like, bro, conspiracy time. I think someone influenced Kanye.
You don't think somebody's like riding him the same way they rode Chris?
Yeah, what's his name?
With mind goblins?
Nick Fuentes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat boy. The cat boy cum hunter.
The funniest shit when I heard about Nick Fuentes is like, you named off everything about him, like he's a Christian conservative who wants to be married and have kids. I'm like, I'm that, and I am married, and I do have kids. Wait, am I the better version? Am I better than him? Holy shit. That was easy.
Milo. Thank you, Sean.
Like everyone's better than Nick Fuentes.
Yeah. I mean, Nick
Milo
Fuentes is...
Yiannopoulos is the one that influenced Kanye.
Oh God!
For the longest time.
I remember when he
that makes
popped up.
sense.
I remember when he first popped up. I was like, God damn.
Yeah,
Bro,
like,
I remember he got kicked out of a con once.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of problems with that whole situation, but I genuinely think it's really funny to, like, I think it's really funny to laugh at Nick Fuentes in particular, because even though I don't actively pay attention to every single little thing he does, occasionally I'll hear about something that just makes me laugh ridiculously hard. It's like when Ethan Ralph went to Portugal a second time and got his ass handed to him.
I love playing that clip, especially when
That's like-
threatening George.
I remember the day it happened.
Hey, fatty, this is your future. You're looking.
I
forward to
literally
it?
said drop on the deck and flop like a fish head ass.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm
He's
dying.
a come detective.
But it feels like literally every single thing that Nick Fuentes has done was just that clip played on repeat, except it's verbal and not physical.
God, it's like that. Have y'all ever seen that Ben Shapiro thing where he's talking about WAP?
Oh my God! Yes.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I just
My
learned
wife
about
is a
it. And
doctor, and she said that this might be a sign of a medical disorder. I'm like, it's one of those situations to where like
Right.
like people
Everyone's
like,
going
people
about
took
Ben
it
Shapiro's
seriously. I'm
wife
like,
being
he's a
being
joke.
dry as the fucking Sahara Desert.
Yeah, he's got like really dry humor. It's the funniest thing in the world when you have someone that's uber freaking serious attempt to make a joke. It's like on Better Call Saul when Chuck tried to make a fucking joke.
Yeah, like it's
You
like
trying
Ben
to tell me he was joking?
I would. Oh
I
my god, I
remember
hope
when-
he was joking.
deadpan. That motherfucker was deadpan. He truly believed that shit.
Oh god.
I remember.
That
No.
clip, I've watched it over and over again. He was legitimately mad about that song and really stood firm in that belief, man.
Oh
my
god, it's even worse.
Yeah,
than I
and
thought.
it's like, and it's like when it comes to Ben Shapiro, I remember one of the very first like Tumblr trolling plans was to try and convince everyone that he was a closeted trans man, and it's just one of those things that's funny only because he hates trans people and gay people so much.
I just try to
And-
get everyone convinced that he's a fucking 8-year-old.
Like, bro, this
He does
reminds
act
me
like
of the
one.
time. Bro, this reminds me of the time when I looked at like a Sundown Town map and I said, hey, I'm gonna go ahead and just go to every single town on this map and piss in their yard.
Shit.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh my god. Yeah,
do
I've
it.
actually, I'm not sure how many sundown towns I've been to, but I know one for certain. I went to Oregon and one of the towns and there was a sundown town and it's like still very prejudiced and it's
I don't know what a sundown town is.
it's
That is a
basically
town where if you are not the right color, you need to leave before the sun comes down because they cannot guarantee your safety if you stay.
Oh, no go
Yeah.
zones in Sweden.
Yeah, and it's
guess.
like they basically all had sayings like don't let your back be shown after the sun goes down, and then it would like be full of racial slurs. Basically, even though sundown towns aren't like actively killing people in the night for being black anymore, they still
They will
hold a very
harass.
strong prejudice, and
They
some
will
of
harass
them
the fuck out of them.
yeah, exactly. Like, one of the reasons why I didn't see eye to eye with my grandma was because she was so racist. And she literally told my mom in front of my black neighbor, well, when I was young, we didn't have to pretend to like them.
So what?
Huh? Huh?
God damn. that sounds like something George would say.
And it's like,
Holy shit.
it's like, she said a lot of things that are absolutely unhinged, and it's like, one of those cases where nowadays she's kind of demented and she doesn't want to see a doctor because she's scared of what they'll tell her. But so that kind of changes the situation a little bit. But she hated me for being trans. She also referred to me as an Indian because I'm not fully white. Like, I'm white passing, of course. And I'm not gonna pretend like I'm not, like, mostly white, but it's just that I'm not completely white that sets her off.
It gets really awkward sometimes when I used to work construction, and I'd have like a Mexican, like a framer, come up to me, and he'd start talking to me in Spanish, and then I'd look at him for a second, and he starts like, "Oh, you don't speak Spanish?" I'm like, "No, sir, I'm white." He's like, "You don't look it." And I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
thanks."
My dad had a very similar thing. Because, like, my dad has a very dark farmer's tan from years of working construction and stuff, and electrical and all that. And it's, like, sort of a permanent tan, for lack of better words. And he used to go up to, like, his Hispanic friends, and he would go and he would put his arm next to theirs to try and see who was darker.
Shit. It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah, and they'd get a laugh out of it.
Well, we are about to be winding down. We usually stop around like 11 o'clock. We've already gone past that. It's been a really good run.
Oh shit.
That
was really fun.
I want to see if we can't find something to watch to wound down. Does anyone have any suggestions?
I can't think of anything.
Let me look. Let me see if I can find something off the top of my list.
If not, it's just gonna be King of the Hill YTP.
Oh man, I loved YTPs growing up. I showed my dad the fucking like the Ouija in my cereal box one when I was like 11, and he laughed his ass off.
You wanna introduce some of your people to a little bit of George?
I mean, sure. I like
shit.
George shit.
Okay, let me pull up Golden Ages or Gorgeous
God.
George gay boat ride.
Oh no.
We'll do Gorgeous George's gay boat ride.
Gorgeous George gay boat ride. Get into a fight with George, and my rebuttal was like, "That's some big talk from a dude whose moral enemy is a freaking tow truck."
Let me see. Okay, here's one that. Now this is a music video, so I don't know. You might not want to do that. Let me find something else, because that might fuck with you.
Is everybody ready for Christmas?
Yeah, I'm quite excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it too. It's one of my favorite holidays. Like, Christmas and Halloween are pretty much tied for me.
I'm mostly like a Easter kind of guy, but I like Christmas
Easter
too.
is good too. Yeah, it's like one of those holidays that's very joyous, for lack of better words, and the sort of light and laid back nature of it makes it a good holiday. It's like, that's why I like Christmas. I really like the sort of excited joy aspect, and if you have family you're getting a present for, like say you're a parent, it makes it even better because you get to see the happiness in your kids' eyes.
God, I'm looking forward to that. I got about 15 years of seeing that before I get bored of it.
I'm looking forward, guys. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second.
Alright. Honestly, all in all, this has been a really good stream, and I greatly enjoyed coming on here.
Oh man, no problem.
I'm sorry if I rambled a few times until I lost what I was thinking about and completely forgot about it.
Nah, man, ain't no problem.
Alright. Yes, alright.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to thank Cal for taking the initiative, wanting to jump in and whatnot. It actually turned out to be for the best because of NMS being sick.
Yeah. Like, I literally took like a 3.5-hour nap and woke up like 30 minutes before all of this was about to start.
God, I wish I could take naps.
All right, I put it in the chat that we're in.
Okay, let me turn my music off.
It's comical and it gives a kind of insight into George.
Let me pull up here. Here. Share screen. It says this video may be inappropriate for some users. That's what we need right here.
Well, it's George, so.
Yeah. I'm an inappropriate user. Let's see here. Is it showing?
It's loading in, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, hang on a minute. Let me get the big screen up. That is not the screen I need. Why didn't you work? Screen capture, change, input. Here we go, done. Okay. And here we go.
Oh, look at that, WhiteGlove. You're getting fucking fans.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
I have my audio up. Okay, audio's up. Okay. This is a true story.
This is that camera right there. That camera needs to be adjusted. The tall camera needs to be adjusted. I'm sorry that we're having so much technical difficulties.
He fucks up the English language consistently.
Yeah, it does.
Why does he
so
look
happen.
like
Do
the
you have
90s
the mic
bully
on?
grew
Okay,
up
right.
and...
Making sure everybody's got their mic on. So yes, and I am, I always get approached by lots of people that ask me the
shit's gonna
same
be
questions
fucking
'cause they're
cringy.
infatuated with me.
But I mean, look at us.
You can already see it. His dignity fleeing from him. Sadness overtaking him. Pondering why he would lower himself to sit next to this fat virgin. Somewhere deep down he's thinking, I'd really like to clock this fat fuck right in his double chin.
Oh shit.
I'm sure a lot of people have felt the same way about me.
Big fucking ditches in the middle of the road. You pay $100 just for filling in the hole.
Yeah, we got some really good fucking editors in the kingdom.
Yeah, when it comes to...
having freaking like anxiety. It's like, oh my god, I know what it is. Oh my god.
I know I've said this in your, stream chat before, but why is it always Ruckersville or, Richmond when it comes to lolcows?
Something in the water. That's what Dea says. They got a chemical in the water.
Turning on the freaking...
I need to figure out what they're doing with water around like 2 counties over. It's doing something weird. I mean, I only need 15 more votes and I get into the soil and water conservation group. I got 3 last election.
Yeah, like,
the bank's house.
The bank's house.
It's kind of funny because on the topic of elections, it's like in Arizona, like you basically get to choose between a Republican and a Republican.
Ah! My fucking soul. I wonder what will win. My love for animals or my hunger?
July 1968, Mrs. Habib Nasser Yared, the wife of an illegal Lebanese immigrant, gives birth to her first and only child. It is a boy and they name it George Alexander, becoming the first confirmed trolls in young George's life.
He's
He
younger
is a
than my
particularly
parent,
angry
than my
baby
mom.
with
I
a
wasn't
colicky
expecting that. He looks
disposition.
older than her.
Before he is 35 years old, he will be wanted by police in 2 states for assault, buggery and illegal possession of bad skin.
I love this video. I watched this
He
video a
attends
lot.
this school where he nearly flunks
Huh?
out of every possible subject, including pencil sharpening. His victimization complex and sexual aggressiveness that develops
Wait,
in
so he
early
was like
adulthood
Ethan
is
Ralph, he
shaped
was
by
always fat.
constant teasing where he develops mush mouth, a cognitive speech disorder which makes it
he is.
sound
They're
like
both
one is
rage
suffering
pigs,
from
so it
constant
works.
strokes. Although this
I
could be
think one of them's a
attributed to
rage
George's
whale
early
at this
diet
point.
of lard sandwiches, one cannot be certain.
That is true about
We
George.
interviewed Mrs. Lowry, his 5th grade teacher.
I remember one time he stole a fountain pen. I didn't want to embarrass him. So, you know, teachers have ways of doing things. So I said to the class, we will all close our eyes. And will the one who took the pen please return it? Well, while our eyes were closed, he returned the pen. But he took the opportunity of feeling all the girls.
Jesus!
Oh no!
Oh hell nah.
Feel.
In an attempt to keep George from developing a rash on his 2-inch dick, his mother spends what little money they have and purchases a cello and a tweener of meth at a local pawn shop. For the first time in the arid
How would that help?
something other than Arabic screaming is heard.
This is what
yes.
my Vocaloid stuff sounds like.
The call to
That
prayer.
sounds like my music.
His first and only cello teacher.
There is not very much to tell because his cello playing was just terrible. He had no idea about tone production. He would just saw it back and forth, just scratch the instrument to such a point that it drive everyone that listened to it absolutely insane. He had no conception of the instrument. He was blowing into it.
What?
If that notification sound wasn't what was intentional, I'm.
No, that was me.
He
It fit though.
And I think he stole to pay for his lessons, but he would not apply himself one iota.
Childhood is especially difficult for George as his mother has abandoned the family to pursue her dream of being spit roasted by 60s psychedelic band, Iron Butterfly.
Oh yeah,
Because of
man.
this
That's the
traumatic
life.
experience, George develops an overeating disorder and masturbates constantly to cope, which unfortunately will cause him erectile dysfunction that begins in his late teens. In almost complete adolescent isolation, he is largely left to his own devices, creating a vast imaginary world where he is irresistible to women and not getting diddled by his drunk father during one of his weekend tequila binges. With his father
Oh, look, it's
working
Chris.
2 full-time jobs to make ends meet and support his ongoing pornography addiction, George draws close to an elderly neighbor named Herbert who takes him to baseball games to hit on the hot dog girls.
Pervert the
I'm
pervert.
getting-
It is during
I'm getting
the 6th inning
whiplash
of a
from,
Flying
like, the
Squirrels game where
dramatic
Herbert takes
change
a
in
direct
timing.
foul ball to the face, dying instantly, proving
It
that
was
bad
like
luck
you
is
just talked about the
attracted to George
70s,
just
a
like
70s
obesity
cover
and
band for
failure.
something I never heard
During
of,
his
and
high
then
school years,
and then we're talking about like
George's
Major
father has
League
worked
Baseball,
himself
and
to
it's like Inception.
In the meantime, his mother has returned to the Richmond area where she works as a waitress and hand job attendant at the local diner.
Yeah, that's an
His
important
life
job.
continues to spiral after graduation as he enrolls in the local community college
Hand
only to
job
drop
attendant.
out after 2 weeks when he learns there is no such thing as a degree in culinary binging. Determined to make something of himself,
Culinary
George attempts
At
to
least
join
not
the
until
military, but is
mukbangs
deemed
became a
mentally
thing.
unfit when he describes one of the Rorschach ink blots as a, quote, orgy of little leaguers on top of a 7-layer burrito. Unquote. Mr. T.S. Foster, George's first probation officer, remembers him vividly.
He was a trustworthy kind of
Oh my
person.
god.
You had to
What is that-
remember
what is that
certain
around his neck?
idiosyncrasies that he had.
Like what?
It's a microphone.
Well,
It does look like a microphone.
I
though.
think
not
so.
always
Yeah.
telling the
Yeah.
truth.
My
Well, he's
brain was
certainly
like,
not hanging himself to get away from George, but
Sometimes
I thought
That would be
I
my
thought it was the
second guess.
cyanide capsule, you know, just in case it became too much.
to be fair, it would be too
Lie.
much to be around
He
George.
does have a criminal record, yes, but that
This is
doesn't
your
mean that
this
the
is
boy
your
was
only
all
way
bad.
out because he'll already be upon you by the time you think about running.
With no other prospects and his mother suffering from onset syphilitic dementia, George's mind imploded. In order for him to accept the utter bleakness of his reality, the unreal became real. Taking the name of Gorgeous George and stealing bits from Howard Stern and SNL, the fat kid from Stony Creek sought to reinvent himself. And to do it, he would enlist the help
Has George
of this
ever
man,
went through a table?
Matthew Tatum, a
Like,
convicted
for
sex
comedy?
offender whom George would allow to live with him for the next 10 years. According to the state of Virginia criminal code,
he won't do anything that will
falls
physically hurt
under
him.
the umbrella of aggravated
Yeah, he's
sexual
not
battery
like,
occurs when
He's a
there is
giant
sexual
bitch.
contact
Yeah,
with
he's
someone
not like
under the age
Ethan
of
Ralph where
13,
he'll like break a
when the
chair on
perpetrator
stream
is
or
over
scream
18 and the victim is
or
under
like scream at
6,
someone until
or
he gets
if there
beat
is
up
an
and then
attempted
get back
rape
up
and
again.
forcible sodomy with an object. The
Just
fact that
go
George
through- just
let a
go through the-
sexual predator
Why did he
stay
pose
in
for the
his home
toilet?
For over a decade tells you all you need to know about the company he likes to keep. Regardless of the circumstances regarding Mr. Tatum's conviction, there is something about the way George refuses to acknowledge his existence. For instance,
That is a
in his
fucking toilet. I
documentary,
never noticed
Magic
that
Matt
before.
is not
Holy
mentioned
shit.
anywhere or seen in any clipages. However, a quick scan over George's
So,
very own website
The
will
more I
tell
watch
you
this, the more I'm
otherwise.
thinking
In at
George
least
is like a
3
cult
different
leader.
places.
But when he
George
was
goes
filling out
into
his
great
stat block, he
detail
didn't,
about how the
didn't
show
put enough in
started.
he didn't put enough in
Something
charisma.
he glosses over in the
He
documentary.
neglected charisma. It's
One
a zero.
could chalk it up to his malignant
Yeah.
narcissism.
Then how did he get people to hang
However,
around
it
for
is
so
more
long?
likely that the embarrassment of being
To be
gal
fair, if
pals
he
with
was
the
a
kitty
Fallout
diddler
character,
is
I
the
think he
cause
would
of
get
his
like
omission.
a stat of 1 in everything,
Long
except
before
for
the
maybe
internet
perception,
found
and
this
he'd have a
veritable
2 in that.
goldmine of low self-esteem and lolsiness, local nigger insomniacs would pepper George.
I don't know why
constantly with
people,
prank
like
calls.
certain people follow him.
Oh, no.
I
Due to
don't
his
get it.
autism,
Yeah.
fetal alcohol syndrome, and narcissistic personality
You
disorder.
That's the
Never
He's pity?
understood
one of the
why
big
what he
questions
believed
that I
was a
want
community
to
service
fucking
provide dick
unlock.
fart
And
jokes
honestly,
was
I think it has a
continually
lot to
being
do with
made fun
pity.
of. His
Either
victimization
pity or with
complex
some
kicked
people
into
he has
overdrive and
something
thus
on
went
them
full fucking
and
retard.
blackmails them essentially.
2003, the year I was born.
He blows them. He blows them and says, if you don't do what I tell you, I'm going to tell everybody I blew you.
Probably. He is a glory hole attendant.
That good time experience is back in the back. Yeah, that wasn't a pretty lady.
Yeah.
Dude's lips feel familiar, big boy.
Before
To
the
be fair,
false
it's,
flag
like,
had got
really
the
funny
original
that,
Sucks series taken down, they had tens of millions of views. George was famous.
It's really
just
funny
not
that
in the way
public
he
access
wished.
shows used to
And
have
instead of
call-ins,
laughing
because that
about
would have
it,
been so
taking
much
it in
fun
stride
to
and turning it into an opportunity,
listen to.
he pissed his pants like a big, retarded fucking baby and blew it all to fuck.
Oh, the prank calls that
Listen
he'd
to
get
this
on the
conversation where
public
Kevin
access
is
show
the
were
legitimate
fucking
voice
amazing.
of reason and
Yeah,
PG
he's
denies
probably
the
even
internet
better
is
than Ghost on the Radio when 4chan discovered him.
I think the cable access.
He's up there in the vein of like Ghost, in my opinion.
I think everything is kind of phasing out. We're in sort
The
of a
cams.
evolution of.
He's like a great value Ethan Ralph.
He is. I like. It's like you look at him and he looks like Ethan Ralph if he was a 90s bully that.
He's
got
he's
old.
pre-Ethan Ralph. This is his fucking.
What
What is a heterosexual?
That's not even a reason or an argument.
No one knows.
That's just brain damage resulting
Welcome
from
to
George
the
Senior
great
punching his
world
mom in her
of
rotten crotch when she
the
was
George
pregnant.
Iridian
GG
fucking
not
dictionary.
understanding how the internet, or hell, how even money works is
What's
why
a
he's
flist?
a bankrupt idiot. For example,
knows?
the video you are watching now
He's
is
like
monetized by YouTube as I will
Oliver
demonstrate.
3 with like no talent.
Cursed. Oh yeah.
Damn, this video was old.
God,
George has been around since '96, man.
I mean, yeah, it's like this YouTube video in particular is pretty old. Internet Explorer, holy shit.
George was making a mockery of himself before we even learned how to like hold a pencil correctly.
Yeah, this video, I'm pretty sure, just by how everything's
This
done.
man was doing shit before I even gained
GG is
sentience.
flushing his money down
Yeah.
the toilet to pay for airtime on a station no one watches, let alone subscribes to. In order to pay for the airtime, he drives a broken-down Soccer-Mom van as an
Damn.
illegal taxi service, delivers food to dangerous parts
Why
of
did
town,
that look kind of like a Hummer?
Because it was.
sucks dick for cash at a
Oh,
local
shit.
gay bar and sleeps in his car
He
because
just
he's
destroyed-
banned from bank-owned property.
He just
Fucking wow, but
destroyed a
even after
fucking
all that
expensive
failure,
car,
you
holy
still have
shit.
to peel away at the onion that is the big ball of blubbering redneck buffoonery to get to the core of his feeble-mindedness. For the last decade, GG has not grasped
Oh my
what
God, they
YouTube
look
has
like
seen fit to
hobbits.
have puppets explain.
I think this video is crappy. Look at that crappy red guy. He's not even wearing any pants. Crappy? You cannot say that I am crappy. I will take down notification his video.
Mario, that's his video. He'll just send you a counter notification. Copyright don't work like that.
This is not fair.
Nope. This is fair use.
Why is
Copyright
why
has a
was there a
concept called
picture
fair use
of
that allows people to comment
Dave
on
Chappelle
or
as
remix or
Prince?
criticize your video.
Why
I
not?
don't know.
I'm sending him a takedown notification.
Is he gonna
anyway.
fucking serve my ass
No way.
in basketball, then serve my ass pancakes in the morning?
Yes.
Hey, Fred, I want to take down the video.
I
That's
mean,
making fun of me.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd let somebody whoop my ass in basketball if they gave me pancakes.
Criticizing your video. Copyright law.
Make it waffles and I call it good.
Commentary, criticism,
Yeah,
parody, and other transformative uses.
Fucking
You
make
can
a
get
fool
in
out
a
of me,
lot
then
trouble
feed me.
For ignoring that. Wait a minute. What are you doing?
This is great
Okay.
stuff. I am putting it in the video.
The fact that George
Yeah, George is
crumbles into a
fucking,
wad of
pre-Christian
wine and butt every time
locale.
he sees a video has everything to
Yeah.
do with his fragile
What are the
ego
chances
getting utterly crushed under
that-
the weight of the troll's massive balls and
Oh, God.
absolutely nothing to do with
I know
copyright
technically he
issues.
was like a 90s
stupid
lolcow,
work.
but at the same
He'd
time
be
it's
swimming
like
in dead presidents.
he started getting popular in
GG
like
truly is the
2003,
final
so he's
lolcow
like
of the
Pixie
internet.
Terry era.
He's not smart enough to figure out how the internet works, and he's too stupid
what
to
are the
stop
chances-
George was
His
popular
milk will flow
before
for
that, just on a different
We should
venue.
all be
What
thankful.
are the
wow,
chances
yeah.
that
Incredible
George
imbecile
is
has blessed
Chris's
us
real
with his
father?
presence.
I have that
no.
fucking
That
theory.
is until
I've
someone
said that
finally
theory
wakes up
over and over
finally
again
gets
because
his own show
Barbara
on
Chandler was
TV,
notorious
GG
for
decides
kind
to
of
fall
being
asleep
a
with
hoe.
gun in his mouth.
back in
And
the That is where George used to do his karaoke all the time.
holy shit.
Oh my goodness.
And yeah, so there's a lot of crossover between those two.
If we pulled a
I wonder
picture
if
of
they
them
ever
side
met.
by side, like one of the most recent pictures of Chris that we have, and one other most recent pictures we have, or back then picture we have of George, I think their chin line matches up a bit.
All right, if you, I can get you a picture of George. Give me 1 second. What era do you want of him?
Let's go. Okay, so he's like what, like 60 now?
50, 56, 57.
57. And Chris
Oh,
is
here
like
you
in
go.
his
This is
40s. So it would have to
Yeah,
be prime peak. Yeah, let's.
Here, I got one for you. I got one.
Chris just turned 40 in February, so. 41, maybe something like that. I know he was like 1982, if memory serves right.
Chris must have been like yelling when he missed his birthday and spent it in jail.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you fuck your own demented mother.
I'm gonna send you a couple. One just because it's fucking funny.
I love the one where Chris Chan is in like the fucking striped jumpsuit and like has a
There you
scowl
go.
on his face.
Do you have a forward-facing one? Okay, yeah, that's.
That red shirt one, I'd recommend that one. I would just
You look kind of
recommend that one.
They do
He
look
looks
kind of
so
similar
annoyed.
though. What the fuck?
Yeah. That was my first thought when I saw George. I was trying to figure out if it was like a Photoshop of Chris's face on someone else, and then I realized it wasn't.
So there you go. I got the George picture sent to you so you can put them up in the side by side. I would highly recommend the red shirt one, just because
I got the red shirt one
added
up
lulls
on,
to that.
Up on stream.
Oh.
I'm sharing my screen.
Fucking big titty Chris Chan.
No fucking way. They do look kind of similar. No fucking way.
It's George's long lost daughter, Virginia. Virginia Weston Chandler.
Oh my god.
No, George had a
Look at the
thing about having a
earlobes.
long
Look at
lost
the
brother.
earlobes. Look at the droopiness of the earlobes.
Wait, what?
Okay. Look. Okay. One of the ways that you like you can see if somebody is similarly related. You look at jawline structure, nose, earlobes, and cheeks.
Can you show George's full red shirt? I want people to see that.
Yeah, hang on.
Let's just say I think they both practice a loved pastime that Chris Chan had.
Oh, the white.
Was recycling.
Yeah. Well, not just that, also the hair color, because that's Chris's natural hair color, matches his almost to the T.
Yeah.
And the earlobes, what the hell?
In my opinion, Chris didn't look very much like Bob.
Yeah.
Here's something else too is the denigration of the eyebrows. I don't know if Chris did anything with his eyebrows. He doesn't have any very thick eyebrows, and George here doesn't have very thick eyebrows either. The old thing.
Well, you should listen to George talk about sex. It's very, very similar to a Chris Chan.
I think he's got his mom's nose. I think Chris has his mom's nose though. The bridge doesn't go all the way up like George's does. Yeah, that's something else. God, I don't know, chat. What do you think? Is there a possibility?
There is.
Freaking George
I
would have
see it.
been at his peak of reproductive reproduction in his 20s, around the conception of Chris Chan. So it would have been roughly like probably frequenting bars roughly around the same time as so it.
And remember, there was a time where fucking Barbara Chandler was living in a different state, away from that was Chris and Bob at that point. But she would take fucking sabbaticals, like when they moved and shit.
Yeah. Their entire family was a mess. It wasn't just Chris Chan, and people often forget that.
We should we should send letters to Chris in jail. It's like, we found your real father. Get him for child support.
Goodness. Drug, I would just get us canned by the quickie.
God,
Yeah,
You can get a new
probably,
tugboat, Chris.
it
probably
would,
would be a bad idea to wean, but like at the same time, it would be funny.
yeah,
It would
like
be.
I can't get Rogue's attention to save my life, but hell, if I want to get Noel's attention, it would only take like 2 easy steps.
I have unfortunately gotten Noel's attention.
Yeah, so is Bruce
Like,
apparently.
Bruh, I got Kiwi Farms' attention one time.
Oh god. Yeah, like, Noel himself was the one that gave me the pink triangle. He basically DM'd me saying, "You were kind of being retarded in the YouTube commentary community thread. So, here's your pink triangle. It doesn't come with any restrictions. Just be careful next time."
Well, that's still it's like, well, I have to admit that is pretty on the level for like how to treat people. The straightforward.
Yeah, like, I wasn't upset at him. I've never been upset at him. He's actually pretty laid back from what I've seen. And, definitely has a sense of humor, even if he's, like, transphobic. It's like, I could kind of see where he's coming from, only because he's seen, like, the downfall of people like Chris Chan.
The only reason that I would ever tell Chris that George Yared is his father is if I was able to do a DNA test. Now, unfortunately, I think getting a hold of the DNA from Chris would be the hardest part.
Yeah.
Unless you've been in his car.
Well, like if there was like a big thing about like there's only one other person that have DNA for a DNA test, and that would be that crazy magician dude.
Yeah.
His name escapes me, but I remember he got a hold of Chris's shoes and whatnot. Getting a hold of George's DNA wouldn't be that hard. Just run up to him wearing a Guy Fieri mask and say it's flavor time and just snatch a bit of his hair out and run away.
I just remembered something out of fucking nowhere. Remember when he was like fucking the PlayStation or Xbox? I forget which one. Oh. And All Star was playing.
Oh god. George, have you ever been to Flavor Town? Neither have I. God. Give me your hair.
Like, the only time I interacted with Chris was on Twitter when I was asking, "Hey, are these 3 characters good for the merge?" And he was like, "They aren't important." And everyone else was like, "Yo, keep going. He doesn't know what he's saying."
Wait, Rattler. So if his DNA comes back mixed with Fanta, would it register that he's like a part German?
God.
Because the origins of Fanta? Do I have to continue explaining the joke or can I stop?
Oh, I got it.
Mm.
The Germans were too poor to like
I never thought about doing a side-by-side like this before. That was a fucking good idea. Holy shit.
Now, like, we'll never truly know, and to be completely honest, it is probably for the best that we will never know the answers. Like,
oh man, imagine those two working together. God damn it.
I can imagine them working together for 5 minutes until Chris finally has had enough and says, "I've been to prison," and just chokes his shit out of him. I'll go back and
today
Probably just gets out of prison and just starts going on a rampage.
Today would have been Terry Davis's 52nd birthday.
Rest in peace, Terry.
Yeah. Dude was crazy intelligent, like...
It's like... Stay on your medication.
Yeah, there's a reason why I take my medication all the time.
I gotta go to church and pray the demons away.
Him yelling about the dogs being raped. by other dogs is like so funny in retrospect, but then you realize what was going on and it's terrifying.
Oh God. Well, it's been a good one, guys, but we gotta wrap it up. It's already well past our cutoff time.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and call it a close tonight. I want to thank everybody for stuck around for all this rambling, this wind down rambling. We got links in the description for our server and whatnot. But whether or not WhiteGlove of Cal wants you to come in or not, I don't know if that's a relative good idea just yet.
I don't mind. I don't really mind.
So there's a chance. There's always a path of redemption, and you seem to be carrying pretty well. It's just we have tried to keep Echo pretty on the level. We've run into a few bumps, but it's been a bumpy ride, but people there seem to enjoy being there.
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be super active in it because I'm not very active on Discord anymore, but I'll probably just stay there and say something nice every now and then. I actually got banned from a server earlier today because, I mean, in my sleep, because somebody bitched about my past to the Jannies.
Well.
In Vocaloid.
Well, that happens, I guess, but of course.
Yeah.
We have I need to go back later on. I'm gonna link Tony's channel in the description below. Cal, do you have anything else that you need to plug?
Just follow my Twitter.
Okay, yeah.
It's the same thing as my username.
It's Cal Print Soda on Twitter. He's also recently been putting up commissions. How many slots you got left?
I don't really have a set number, so I can just go on for a bit.
So yeah, if anybody has anything they want drawn by in his art style, that's where you find him. Of course, he's in Echo. That's where you can also find him. Talk to him on Discord and whatnot. Okay, and I'm also gonna have to go through and put WhiteGlove's channel in the description later too. I didn't think about that until now.
That's all right. It's not for everyone anyway.
Yeah, the music itself definitely isn't for everyone. It's not my cup of tea, but it's the thing. It's a thing.
Yeah, and it's mostly covers, because the way that Vocaloid covers work is it's producers actively tend to give out their instrumentals in the hopes that somebody will use them. It's not like other songs where you have to do an arrange.
Yeah.
Because it's just a very different culture.
Well, we're going to go ahead and cut off for tonight. Everybody say goodnight.
Night.
All right,
night, everybody.
Have a good one.
Mm-hmm.